Good morning, YouTube. Thank you once again for tuning in. I am the Cairo, and you are now watching the Morning Coffee.
The morning coffee.
All right. Let's get right into this, man. My name is Henry Walker. Some people call me H, some people call me Ham. But anyway, I'm a musician, producer from Central Arkansas. Currently live in the city of Bryant, which is a small little town outside of Little Rock. And I play keys, play little drums. Nothing to brag about, nothing special, spectacular. But that's what I do for my talents. That's my name. Let's go ahead and get into some influences. I would say that things started with this production group called Beats by the Pound. That's where things kicked off for me at an early age. They would do all the No Limit stuff. But even then, before, like, DJ Paul, Juicy J, those guys, man, the town I grew up in was 30 minutes, so from Memphis. So all the Memphis stuff is like, part of my influence. Timberland, Dark Child, and 1500 to Nothing. Those are some really good influences because as a producer, they also influence a little bit of my musician side. And my influences as a musician would probably be some, like Prince, some MJ. I love those guys. All the jazz cats, Bob James, Oscar Peterson, Art Tatum, classic traditional jazz pianists too. I listen to a lot. Wayman Tisdale, Bernard Harris, Chuck Globe, Paul Taylor. A lot of different complex types of music I listen to because you have to, in this game as a musician, you gotta stay ahead of the curve, man. There's always some little 11-year-old kid sitting around working on his chops trying to, get the next big gig, So there's a lot that influences me as a musician. So the other question was, am I currently working on any projects? And the answer is yes. Working on, man, quite a bit of them actually. Pastor James Braggs, working on his first project. Pretty delighted to be a part of that. Evan Samuel, it's a collaborative project I'm working on with him. So some really dope stuff going on there. Working on a project with a couple of friends, Darius Vanley and Eric Wilson. Both some really big stuff. Eric's song has got a lot of talent on it, man. It's got Mo Horns. I don't know if you've heard of it. Just Google their discography, man. They've done Beyonce, MJ, Janet, the Fred Hammonds, John B. Key. Like, they've done pretty much everybody in the, biggest genres. They've done them, most, like, the bigger people in each genre, they really done it. So, Kevin C's on there, Corey Harris, Tevin Curtis, Anthony McMath, myself. Man, it's just, it's a ton of talent on that. It just reminded me of it. Okay, it's a ton of talent on that one song. So, and then the last one I want to mention is very dear to me. Because I've seen this individual grow in every area of life, and she's a real life adult right now, man. And that's Ethel Tamara. Incredible talent, incredible vocalist, incredible songwriter. Man, I could write a book about her. And she's like a little sister. So that we've done some work in the past, but I feel really special about what we're probably getting ready to create. Um, we didn't get a chance to really bring what we did in the past to fruition or some manifestation. Had some health challenges that most of you know about, but that's another video. Um, and So yeah, but I'm looking forward to what we're getting ready to make now, man. It's always bananas what we create. Then there's another question that was asked. What do I feel like would, hinder me from being successful? Um, and I'm gonna answer it the best way I can, because if I'm being honest, I don't feel like that I'm not being successful. Uh, I literally, I feel like I've experienced some good success and got some other things to come. I do this for a living. I actually make a living, a pretty comfortable living. I've been very blessed, um, but to do what I love to do and make a living from it, and like I said, a pretty comfortable living. I'm very grateful, man, that I had some struggling times, starting off in this career, but man, I'm very grateful. Things are really okay right now. But just if I can attack on something, because I know that probably sounds all cool and stuff, but if I'm being honest, I would still be doing this if I wasn't as financially successful. Um, you know, just being honest, man, because that's not what motivates me to do this. I do music because I love it. And if money is, financial success and financial gain is like the biggest pillar you have for, your inspiration, then you have a problem, because you might not be as successful. You know what I'm saying? Uh, I do this from a very passion space. Um, I love things that don't seem to work out, or don't seem to supposed to go together, but work out. Work together to create something very beautiful, something creative, and that's me. I'm the guy that picks the rare things to use and create something out of it. And that's it's all passion driven. It ain't really based on no money. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like if you can create from a passion, and from a love space, the success will find you. Success, people will want to connect with you because they like your vibe. You know what I mean? Like, they're like, hey, this guy or this girl really looks like they love what they're doing, so I want to deal with them. I want to work with them. You know what I mean? And that's been my testimony a lot, especially lately. People have watched me kind of grow in this business and uh, in this craft, and be like, man, I love the energy you have. I love that silent energy you have, because it just looks like you really love doing it. So I want to work with you. I want to see what we can create. And so I really feel like that's important to operate from that space. Um, so success, I feel like I'm experiencing as much as. But if I could answer that, I think that the one thing that would cause me to not be successful would be me. It would be me. So that's that question. Uh, and my work process. I'll be honest, man. I don't have a set way I do things. I don't have a set way. I don't do drums first. I don't do chords first, bass first. I don't function that way. I make use of whatever energy is available, and I let that inspire me. Uh, and the song I'm gonna play here in a second, I can tell you, for like, I've been reading a lot of books lately, uh, like pretty much all year. I've been reading books. Some of them most of them are repeats. Um, Mastery of Love by Don Miguel Ruiz. Um, The Alchemist, Paulo Coelho. I never say that right, but just look up The Alchemist. I've read that probably at least 10 times. But anyway, those books, they speak to me, they inspire me, and everything I do, I feel like contributes its part into my creative process. And so that's why I choose to do the things that I do. I try to protect. I'm sorry, um, my thoughts, things that I allow in my visual, things that I listen to, because I think I've grown to learn that um, the older people used to say that like the eyes and the ears are the windows of the soul. I believe that because I feel like everything you do or affiliate yourself with will end up, especially for creators, I feel like it'll end up bleeding out in your your creations. So for me, I stay connected to things that really inspire my life in a positive way. So I could be watching a movie and then there's a bell loop that nobody is really paying attention to in the whole movie, and that'll inspire me. And I'll probably come in here and start with that bell loop or something that sounds like it that made me feel like the movie did with that bell loop. And that whole track would be inspired by that feeling that I had in that movie. You know what I'm saying? I could be in the grocery store buying some fruit or something and bump into someone and have a conversation that could inspire my creations. But anyway, I was just really I found a loop that says there is no past, there is no future, only now. There's a vocal loop of a British chick singing that, and I was like, man, I love that. And from there, it inspired everything I wanted to do to the track. It's almost like I had produced the whole track in my mind, So I created the patches. First, I inserted the loop, the vocal loop, and I programmed some chords around it. And then I started to create the patches, like the sounds. And I did one where I slightly moved it in and out of tune. And that was really weird. It's really weird that I decided to do that because then my MIDI controller started doing that naturally. But I just recently fixed that too. But anyway, that's another video. But anyway, I started to program the patches. I did the drums, and then I used the bass. Now with Reason, which is what I use, I'm really grateful for Reason. I've been using it since version 2.5. But Reason has this application within it called Players. It's like, and there's a scales and a chords player. And what that does is it allows me to bring my musician side to a halt and kind of put him in a corner in timeout and let the producer fully take over. And the way it does that is it allows me to program the chords to one pad, and I could just play one pad to play chords. And it sounds like, well, why wouldn't you just play it? The reason I wouldn't is because as a musician trying to be productive, as a producer, it's a curse because I can virtually play anything. Like there isn't anything I can't play, and so that part of me ends up jumping ahead and ahead of the producer side, and I end up being more musical than I am creative. So I really love that, and if there's anything I would say is my process, that's pretty consistent. I try to keep the musician part out of it until it's really time. Sometimes you can be musical, you know what I mean? Sometimes chords like that you play are in order, so but anyway, I'm gonna play this track and I'm gonna kind of skip through it so you can hear the meat of it, and then so you already got the breakdown, and I'll pretty much conclude the video after that. Let's start about. Shout out to Retouch for programming my controller to fully be, to map everything to fully control Reason. It's dope. Anyway, here we go.
There is no past, there is no future, only now, only now, only now.
Same chords, different patch, and a bass line.
There is no past, there is no future,
play a little bit of it. And like I said, I've already explained to you how I pretty much created that. And that was inspired basically by message and synchronicity, art of synchronicity, being connected to things that have a similar message. So if there's anything I wanted to highlight from this, man, this morning coffee, is the fact that be sure that you are totally in love with what you're doing. Think of it like a marriage. Think of it like a relationship. There shouldn't be anything that motivates you to be with another person before love does. You know what I mean? I was just recently in a relationship, and I tell you what, I just won't even use that. I won't use that, but you get the point. Make sure that love is the first things, the first pillar of your inspiration when it comes to what you're doing, whether it be music, whether it be production, whether it be an artist. I think that that's important. And I think in that you're going to be magical. I think that success itself will find you in that. I think in that you won't develop processes and routines because it'll be inspired by the different things that are currently making you happy and joyful and peaceful, or however it may inspire you. Sometimes I make music that is inspired because I'm feeling sad, or I remember, and I'm gonna conclude it after this for real. When I first got out of the hospital, when I was diagnosed with kidney failure, and Naldo can attest to this, I made a track that was inspired from that, and it sounded just like that. You know what I mean? And so, pay attention to the energy around you. I would say, pay attention to the energy around you. Connect with that. Try to keep as much positive things in your eyes and ears as you can, and let that speak to you, and you speak and interpret it on this canvas here. My canvas just so happens to be a blank linear sequencer and reason. And these are some of my tools to help me get to that. So I'm very grateful. I feel blessed and privileged to be a part of Morning Coffee. Shout out, man, to Curtis, Max, Evan, Rush, Kevin. I'm going to stop name dropping because I know I'm going to miss somebody. Donnie. Just let me stop, man. Just let me stop right now. So anyway, man, it's peace, love, and light. I love everybody. Holla, man.
Now that was some good coffee. If you enjoyed this video, cruise around the channel and see other content. Also hit that subscribe button and you'll be notified when I make new videos. Once again, I am the Cairo. Plug in, get connected. We are TMR.
The Cairo did this.